Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to General Session of June 9th, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Brooks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I believe Commissioner O'Grady is on his way, and he'll take over as soon as he gets here. We'll begin with the approval of minutes from April 7, 2016 administrative session, and the minutes of May 5, May 12, May 19, 2016 briefing sessions.
I'll move for the approval of those minutes.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved.
And Clerk of Courts.
Resolution number 419-16, resolution authorizing the acceptance of an addendum to the contract of banking services with Huntington National Bank.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Reeder, Fiscal Officer for the Clerk of Courts.
Yeah.
With Resolution 224-12, Huntington Bank was awarded the contract to provide banking services for the Franklin County Clerk of Courts. Under the guidance of the Prosecutor's Office, today's resolution is to approve an addendum to Huntington Bank's updated services agreement. The addendum will also incorporate the expansion of services in the Clerk's Domestic Juvenile Division and Auto Title West Branch. There are no direct costs associated with this addendum. The original terms and conditions under Resolution 224-12 remain unchanged.
Great.
Move for passage of Resolution 419-16.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 419-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Take care. The Auditor.
Resolution number 420-16, resolution authorizing a no-cost amendment to the contract with Pictionary International Corp. For orthographic and oblique aerial photography in additional formats.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Schultz and Brian Katz with the Auditor's Office. We're here to present the First Amendment to the Pictometry International contract. As you know, Pictometry International flies our aerial photography. The aerial photography was delivered in January, and this amendment will provide that photography in an additional format more compatible with our GIS system. This is a no-cost amendment to the contract, and I'll also note that these photos are shared with numerous other government agencies and municipal governments.
Move for passage of Resolution 420-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 420-16 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
The Coroner.
Resolution number 421-16, resolution authorizing a contract extension to Storer Mortuary Transport for body transportation services in the amount of $165,000.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Matthew Cottle, Director of the Franklin County Coroner's Office, representing the coroner, Dr. Ortiz, and we're respectfully asking for approval to extend our body transportation services contract with our vendor for an additional contract year. Storer Mortuary Transport has provided excellent service, very responsive to our needs. Additionally, the price for transport, as originally negotiated, will remain in effect for the next contract year. And thank you for your consideration.
Move for passage of Resolution 421-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 421-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. The Engineer.
Resolution number 422-16, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to George J. Igo and Company Incorporated for the Riggins Road extension from Wilcox Road extending west to Avery Road project in the amount of $7,657,104.31.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Cornell Robertson, representing County Engineer Dean Ringel. This capital improvement project is in the northwest part of the county in Washington Township and will complete an important east-west route in the Hilliard area. This is a coordinated project including Franklin County, Hilliard, Columbus, and a developer. We had a competitive bid on May 5th. We had 6 bidders, and Eagle was the lowest and best bidder.
Who is the developer?
It is David Ruma, and in conjunction with Bob Weiler.
Okay, move for passage of Resolution 42216.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 422-16 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cornell. Sheriff.
Resolution number 423-16, resolution authorizing a settlement to Richard Sanyazi for a disputed property damage claim due to an auto accident involving a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy in the amount of $500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. And this resolution approves a settlement of a vehicle damage claim from an accident that occurred on May 16th. It's been recommended by the prosecutor and County Fleet Management and offers the payment of a $500 deductible. Any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution 42316.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 423-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
The Public Defender.
Resolution number 424-16, resolution authorizing a one-year contract between the City of Columbus, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, and the Franklin County Public Defender Commission in the amount of $903,569.
Good morning, Commissioners. Christy Clarizio, representing the Franklin County Public Defender's Office. This is the annual resolution for a 2016 contract, like I said, between City of Columbus, Franklin County Board of Commissioners, and the Franklin County Public Defender Commission to provide legal services to indigent persons in Franklin County Municipal Court. The total estimated cost of services this year in that program is $5,305,120. It's estimated that 60% of these cases in municipal court will be state charge misdemeanors, and the cost to the county after a 48% state reimbursement rate is expected to be $1,655,197. Now, 40% of the cases in municipal court this year will be city charges at a cost to the city in the amount of $2,122,048. And it's estimated again after the 48% reimbursement rate and the reconciliation from 2015, the city obligation and the amount of the contract today is $903,569. Pending any questions, I ask your approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution 42416.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 424-16 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Christy. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 425-16, resolution approving 2 sub-award agreements for summer enrichment activities with the Columbus Children's Theater and the National Audubon Society Incorporated, doing business as Grange Insurance Audubon Center, in the amount of $53,293.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lance Porter, representing Job and Family Services. These 2 programs we've offered over the past 3 years, and they both enhance the summer camp experience for the county's younger youth. The Columbus Children's Theater provides a traveling theater performance to the different campsites, and the Grange Insurance Audubon Center offers tours and interactive information sessions on site for the children to learn about the birds and conserving habitats. The goal here, of course, is to inspire the imaginations of the children through the theater and education. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution number 42516.
I'll second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 425-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 426-16, resolution authorizing an amendment to grant agreement 0055-13 with IBM to extend the term of that agreement 1 year from December 31st, 2015 to December 31st, 2016.
Good morning, Commissioners. Director James Schimmer from Economic Development and Planning. Joining me at the dais this morning is Senior Program Coordinator Josh Roth. And
Commissioners, I'd like to take you through this resolution. Back in January 29th of 2013, you all approved a resolution awarding a Workforce Innovation Training Grant, or what we call a WITG, to IBM. This was in support of IBM locating its Client Center for Advanced Analytics at 4600 Lakehurst Court in Dublin. The grant period was over 3 years, and I said grant period, but this is a specific program that we have in economic development. But the expansion was to lead to the retention of 671 existing employees and the creation of 500 new jobs. Our portion of the WITG, or the Workforce Innovation Training Grant, was to provide services associated with training. IBM was to do that. Due to some unforeseen market circumstances, full implementation of the program has been delayed. But despite significant progress, the economic development activities outlined in the grant agreement were not fully completed by the date of December 31st, 2015. Specifically, IBM fell short in its job creation commitment. During the grant period, however, they have hired 382 individuals. That's 76% of the requirements that we had. However, we know IBM still intends to complete the project. We received a letter from Stephen Dodd, who is the project executive from IBM and their public partnerships, formally requesting an extension of the original grant agreement with IBM for a year's period. Now, Commissioners, I'll point out to you that the State of Ohio's Tax Credit Authority has already granted the same extension with their agreement with IBM. So we're seeking to extend the grant agreement, and we have confidence in IBM's ability to create the jobs that they've talked about. From IBM this morning, Ron Lovell is here. If you have any questions, I'm sure he's happy to answer them. I would ask for your approval of the resolution.
Ron, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I support what you're saying. We do.
I'm sorry, could you come up to the
certainly
microphone?
Welcome.
That way we can get it on the record. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. We are continuing to grow. We have made major headway, and we started slowly in the first 2 years. If you look at the track record, the past 18 months has gone incredibly well. We recruit, running recruiting days at least once a month. We're hiring. Our strategy is 75% organic growth, college hiring, and 25% professional hires. And so we're continuing to meet that. If you look at the average the annual salary, that we're well above what we said we'd be. So we really exceeded that in that regard. And the center is designated as IBM's data science headquarters for North America.
Thanks for coming in today. I asked a few questions in briefing, and I was able to get some additional information. And I know this area is kind of a moving target, given what's happening with deep learning and AI in general, but big data is slightly different. So I hope that since we met last fall, that some of your additional work has materialized. And one issue that I've kind of heard in the community may or may not be true. I just want to make sure that you are emphasizing the recruitment of U.S. residents or U.S. citizens.
We are.
Great.
It's not always a good fit, as much as the college system is just starting to catch up in creating these skills. I'll tell you, we started 10 interns, all from Ohio-based colleges this past Monday, so we're continuing to see that. So.
Right, and if there's any way creatively that we can help you with that, I think that's very important. We do jobs and family service grants to other institutions, and if there's a way we can facilitate, again, that U.S. resident and U.S. citizen recruitment, that's really what we want to see.
It's a priority of ours, too. I was in Washington last month emphasizing that.
Great. So. Thank you very much.
We appreciate you being here today, and it's important that we know that we have low unemployment, and yet we also know we have people that haven't been able to get jobs. And so there may be some training that people may need to get into the jobs that you have. And we have training dollars that we could add to the WITG if that's necessary. But what you've done in creating the jobs that you've had, and if you're retaining those people, that's wonderful, because that's the measure of the company and what you're doing. And if you're able to retain the staff you have and grow, that's also a measure of success, and that's terrific. And, you know, that's great. And the progress you're making toward meeting that goal that we set is wonderful. And if it's slower going and you're retaining people, I'm okay with that in extending the grant. And if we can be helpful, that's terrific. You know, we're happy to do that.
We have the lowest retention rate of anybody of any of our centers in North America, so we're very successful. It's well under 4% turnover.
That's terrific.
In this field.
And that says a lot about what you're doing.
Right, and the training
Yeah.
component, we run and just developed the only data science boot camp that's
Yeah.
being run for North America.
Right.
And then if our commitment to the community, we just acquired Resource Emirati in the past 3 months too.
Right.
As part of IBM's continued expansion in the area.
And they're terrific, too.
Right.
And that's great.
I know the state, you mentioned previously to me that the state of Ohio, there was maybe some change up in what they had originally pledged, and now that's been ironed out. And I see that in your letter, they have extended this deadline as well.
Correct.
Good, okay. So we all need to be working on the same page. All right.
Great.
And I think this was newer. This was a newer program when we first talked to you about this back in 12. And so we've gotten a little more sophisticated, and hopefully maybe we can be a little more precise in what we put in contracts in the future. Okay. I'll move for passage of Resolution 42616.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 426-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 427-16, resolution authorizing an agreement to accept a 2016 market development grant from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency to partially fund the Econopia LLC food scrap composting facility.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
How do you pronounce that?
Econopia.
Econopia.
Econopia, okay.
Econopia.
Franklin County EDP recently sponsored the successful application by Econopia LLC for a 2016 market development grant from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency in the amount of $250,000. These grant funds are going to partially fund the development of a food scrap composting facility on East Fifth Avenue.
Great.
The purpose of this resolution is to enter into an agreement with the OEPA to accept the grant funds. So pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
Great. I just returned from a NACO meeting, and there's a movement of zero waste resolutions kind of sweeping through counties across the country, and I would hope that perhaps we could look at that.
Yeah, this is a technology, Commissioner, that I think certainly has been championed by PFM and our own county organization, and we'll hope that we can work with them in the future. But the key here is that, again, startup business, good location, and an opportunity.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes.
Yes, we
Move
will.
for passage of Resolution 42716.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 427-16
Curious to
has
see
been
their
adopted.
client base. I'd be curious to see what their client base is.
Yeah, they are definitely developing that for certain. I know they would like to see the county be part of that client base, but and I think there is some discussion going on about that currently. But again, this is their opportunity to make the business work, and we're going to expect them to do it.
Who are the principals of that company?
There's just one that's been involved that we've talked to, and that's David Andre. They have a farm out in Springfield. He has been involved in food scrap recycling now for the last few years. The difference here is that they are actually going to use a different technology than they had in the past, and we'll be able to It's a vessel, it's contained, there's not a lot of smell associated with it, which normally you run into when you're doing this type of work. But their business plan seems really solid. Obviously, the state felt it was that enough so that they wouldn't, fund it, so.
And are we still using Eartha?
We are not.
We're not, okay.
They went out of business.
They did, yep. There is absolutely no doubt that it's a challenge, but it's really an early startup industry in a lot of ways. When we look to the East Coast, many businesses on the East Coast are doing just fine because there is a food recycling
Volume,
component.
yeah.
So.
Great.
Resolution number 428-16, resolution authorizing an amendment to grant agreement 0033-14 with the Columbus College of Art and Design to extend the term of that agreement 1 year from June 30th, 2015 to June 30th, 2016.
Commissioners, this isn't a resolution that we're looking to amend an agreement that we have with Columbus College of Art and Design to extend the grant period for an additional year. When we were looking back at our portfolio, this was one of the projects that we felt very, very strongly about, and I want to explain a little bit of that to you this morning. On January 14th of 2014, you entered into an agreement with CCAD to support a new project called the Mine Market. Under this agreement, CCAD has in fact operated the Mine Market, and it is a business incubator that focuses on arts. To develop, launch, and start the operation of individually owned businesses that provide design-based services to the private sector, government, and nonprofit clients. The CCAD, as you know, has a new president. They went through some staffing turnover. The full implementation of the project was delayed. Despite significant progress, we believe that the extension will allow CCAD to continue to move forward. The agreement was for $75,000 through June 30th of 2015. We're asking that we extend this contract for another year to be able to get that period where they were getting stabilized and account for that. But during that period of time, they've been able to create 61 internships. We had in our contract, we were requiring them to do 61 internships. They've actually done 90. So they've also had a number of students that are taking business classes. The idea and concept behind some of this was that art students come out with a fantastic art education, but oftentimes not a very good business education. And the staff at CCAD has recognized that. So actually in 2015, they had 627 students taking business classes. So this is really an important part of it. I wanted to mention a couple things about their incubation activities. They have, in fact, moved forward on a number of different things, but they have actually success stories. There is a company called Stump, S-T-U-M-P, which is kind of interesting, which relates to a plant company that one of their students has, in fact, done. I will mention to you that the Medial Companion is something you may have heard about in some of the news media, which allows, it's actually the creation of a small stuffed animal that will be able to look at children at Nationwide Children's Hospital. And I'm going to read from what I have here. Particularly stressful to them, it was a standard of diagnostic test that healthcare professionals administer routinely. The solution was to place intimidating medical technology within the comforting guise of a stuffed animal, which I thought was really a wonderful thing, and that's the type of stuff we want to get and work out. Additionally, the Mine Market Fashion Incubator Research Project was undertaken to understand the possibilities of locating a incubator here specifically focused on the fashion design community. So they have done very, very well, and I also want to mention to you that in the audience today we have the Provost, Kevin Conlon from CCAD, if you have any specific questions about the program.
Welcome. Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Mr. Schimmer for his very good summary. Any questions?
Were there, in the next year, if we extend this today, what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, as Director Schimmer noted, we have been working very quickly to establish a fashion incubator within the CCAD Mind Market. Part of the issues that we were facing when we launched the Mind Market was that its scope was unfocused, and we began to realize that if we could align the incubation efforts of the Mind Market to the individual degree programs we had, that we could begin to build direct pathways, internship opportunities, and job opportunities through those specific degree paths.
So you feel like the CCAD feels like you have gotten that alignment now, and you'll accomplish those goals during the upcoming year?
I think it's a very good formula. We're seeing early success from recent alums who've left the college, who are coming back to try their hand at incubating their own fashion businesses within the Mind Market.
But Dean Conlon, as you know, Columbus, and many people don't know this outside of Columbus, but fashion industry is big here, and so and it's a perfect match for what you're doing with the incubator here in fashion design.
I'll mention one other point that Jim and I talked about. He was very kind and spent some time with us at the Mind Market listening to our team. Enterprise, social enterprise in particular, is a particular passion for our students, and they don't really see a distinction between business and social enterprise, and we want to encourage that as well.
We've had, in my office, we've had some experience with the social enterprise of some of your team, and one of your staff members and faculty members was with us in Brazil.
Right.
And we've worked with him on some things since we've come back, and the social enterprise of some of the students is just incredible, and the creativity matched with the social enterprise is just really amazing.
We're very proud of them.
Yeah.
They come up with some really great ideas.
So thank you.
When we talked originally about this grant before it actually was offered, you had some expectations from the film industry, I believe.
Right.
And how are those panning out? Because that's another big effort in the community.
Our relationship with the Ohio Film Group continues to develop. They are probably the most outwardly and almost independently functioning extension of the CCAD Mind Market philosophy.
Good.
Len Hartman is the principal there, and his partner Gil Cloyd have been working very hard with us to provide opportunities for our students to get jobs in the film industry here in Central Ohio. That partnership is about to take another leap forward. We've been awarded money from the State Capital Biennium to build a state-of-the-art animation studio in conjunction and adjacent to the current post-production film facilities. And we will continue to grow the number of students and professionals in the area who are dedicated to film, post-production, and animation.
That's great. That's really good news. Thanks for mentioning that, and I think that was perhaps the original inspiration to some degree of this project.
Dean, this is great stuff. I'm glad to see you guys offering these business classes to your students. I think students in every discipline should have this type of an opportunity. They should have a business background. There are few things in life that aren't benefited from knowing and understanding business principles. I've told my kids as they're trying to figure out what they want to study in school, I've told them each time, if you can't figure it out, if you don't know what you want to study, that's always a great idea to have a business degree. For that matter, you should get a business degree and then go off to law school, because knowing business and knowing the law never ever hurt anybody, and it sets you up for a good opportunity in the future. That said, not every kid wants to study business and the law, so my daughter's studying communications, but she's studying it with a marketing background, with a certain amount of business, what do you call it, business courses within her degree. So it's a great thing. Having gone back to school later in life and studied business, if only I knew, when I was a little younger,
When you
starting
were in
businesses.
business.
Starting businesses. I was successful in business. I can only imagine how much more successful I would have been had I had the opportunity to actually study it before I went into business. So it's a great. It's not the most sexy thing in the world. Kids would rather study fashion and art and design and all the other things that you study.
Well,
those are more interesting, more intriguing.
Yeah. My background is as an artist. I'm a sculptor by training. My Master of Fine Arts degree is in sculpture, but I was a business major in undergraduate school for about a year and a half, and that has that work as taking accounting, finance, marketing has influenced every step of my professional life since then. So that's been motivation behind the initiative to create business courses, and now a business minor as of this past fall at CCAD.
That's great.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Well, good progress.
Thank you.
I'm happy to move your welcome for passage of Resolution 42816.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 428-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Resolution number 429-16, review of petition to annex 387 plus or minus acres from Brown Township to the City of Hilliard, case number ANX-EXP2-11-16.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jenny Snap, Assistant Director, Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 387 acres from Brown Township to the City of Hilliard. The area to be annexed includes property located at 7380 Scioto Darby Creek Road and 404027 Elliott Road, which is located north of Scioto Darby Creek Road, east of Langton, and east and west of Elliott Road. The petition was filed by Agent Attorney Thomas Hart of Isaac Wiles Law, who is in attendance to answer any questions that you may have, on behalf of property owners Hill Distributing Company and the Karen R. Bright Trust and Robert W. Bright Trust. 46.4, the site's perimeter is contiguous to the City of Hilliard, and the city passed resolution number 16-R-45 on May 9th, 2016, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, and a statement regarding incompatible land uses and zoning buffer. The petition meets all statutory requirements of Section 709.021 of Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, we request your approval.
Is this in the Darby Accord area or no?
Yes, it is. So any development that does occur will be required to go to the Big Darby Advisory Panel.
And the developers, everybody's good with that?
Tom, come on up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, Commissioner Brooks, we understand that. It's part of Hilliard's code. We'd go to the Big Darby panel first and then be zoned in Hilliard.
I think that's an asset to a developer, working with the Accord and keeping that incredible beauty in that area and making sure that our water's clean. So thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
Move for passage of Resolution 42916.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 429-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, guys. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 430-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of funds to the Permanent Improvement Fund for the support of various capital projects.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Goodnow, Public Facilities Management. This is a bit of a housekeeping measure, asking for a transfer of appropriations into our Permanent Improvement Fund for some ongoing projects. We have several large ones and many small ones. You can see one out the window here. We're putting a roof on the building next door.
Needed.
Yes.
But it slows traffic down.
Yes, it does.
Really bad traffic out there around the courthouse.
Weather permitting, I think in July we'll be done with this one.
Let's hope, yeah, quickly. Move for passage of Resolution 43016.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 430-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Human Resources.
Resolution number 431-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
A seating
Break
issue.
the chair.
Rob Young, representing Human Resources. Have the following personnel actions this week. Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 leave of absence. Department of Economic Development and Planning, 1 new hire, 1 rate adjustment, and 1 resignation. Department of Job and Family Services, 7 new hires, 1 promotion, 1 temporary work level, 1 leave of absence. Office on Aging, 1 resignation. Public Facilities Management, 1 rate increase. Purchasing Department, 1 resignation. Department of Animal Care and Control, and then we have 379 rate increases as a result of the class and comp study for non-bargaining. So pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
I see AFSCME's back there represented. Do you have anything to say about this? We've passed resolutions increasing wages, getting them up to living wages in the past, so this updates that previous action. Any comment?
Probably not at this time, pending, when they do the bargaining unit.
Okay.
We can get started on that.
Okay. Well, I'll move for passage of Resolution 43116.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 431-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 432-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,207,849.56.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Balanier, representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests your approval of 124 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Move for passage of Resolution 43216.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 432-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 433-16, resolution submitting names to the State Emergency Planning Commission for final approval and appointment to the local Emergency Planning Committee known in Franklin County as the Chemical Emergency Preparedness Advisory Council.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Chanis, Deputy Administrator. This resolution will update our CPAC member list to the State Emergency Planning Commission. There is one change in terms of membership representing EMA, and then there is the change in leadership of the chair and vice chair. Otherwise, the list is the same as originally submitted back in the fall. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
Refresh our recollection. Who's the chair and vice chair?
Sure. Commissioners, it's Captain Brobst from Columbus Division of Fire is the new chair, and Dennis Rankin is the vice chair.
Move for passage of Resolution 43316.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 433-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 434-16, resolution appointing Sean D. Grant as Franklin County, City of Columbus members to the local Workforce Development Board pursuant to the requirements of the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act of 2015.
Commissioners, as mentioned in briefing, this is a joint appointment with the City of Columbus. Pending any questions, would recommend approval.
Move for passage of Resolution 43416.
Sean will be a great addition. Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 434-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 435-16, resolution authorizing appropriation adjustments for the implementation of a classification and compensation study for non-bargaining commissioner agency employees.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize a transfer of appropriations in the general fund of $42,141, as well as supplemental appropriations in various non-general funds totaling $176,543. This would provide the appropriations in conjunction with the resolution approved earlier for the rate adjustments for non-bargaining employees as part of the classification and compensation study. The resolution also authorizes an updated pay table, which increased the starting rates $1.44 per pay grade, and also notes that notwithstanding the rates, that the intent is that no employee would be brought in below the living wage amount, which was determined
for our region
at $13.69. And finally, the resolution also authorizes the Director of Human Resources to enter into negotiations with any bargaining unit under the appointing authority of the Board of Commissioners that requests implementing the results of the classification and compensation study.
And have our unions requested this extra step, authorizing the HR director?
Rob Young, Human Resources. Informally, we've heard from one of the unions at this point in time.
Union here today?
Possibly that union.
Okay. Okay. Move for passage of Resolution 435-16.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 435-16 has been adopted.
All right. Do we have any journalizations, Antoine? All right, well, then that concludes our meeting for June 7th. I'll see everybody in 2 weeks. I would imagine my colleagues will see everybody next week. Take care.
Have a great